But if you're a professional and you want to get that last 10 to 15%, there's a bunch of buffer trail in that area, and it left some sanding marks, and the finish was the worst of. If you want the best of the best, welcome to the best one-step car polish compound product in the detailing game for 2024. For today's video, we're gonna test out 4 of my favorite one-step polish for your car, guys. So first off, we have the Clean by Pan spray polish, a brand new product on the market. Next up, we'll have the DIY Detail Gold Standard, a favorite of many people for this year. And after that, we have the Koch Chemie F6 Fine Cut, guys. And then finally, we're gonna have the Rupes Fine Cut DA Fine. I'm very excited to present to you this new project of mine. I've been waiting to do this for a while now. Now that we have this test panel, it's gonna be great. So first off, we're gonna sand each square with 2000 grit, and then we're gonna go ahead and do a polishing cycle for each product with the Lake Country HDO blue pad, and then we'll be able to evaluate our cutting power for these products. Right after that, when we're done with that step, we're gonna use the 3000 grit. We're gonna sand each section with 3000 grit, and then we're gonna go ahead and do a second polishing step in this section, and then we can evaluate the gloss. All right, so I'll have the inspection light. I'll do my best to show you the product in action. So hope you guys are ready. It's gonna be a good one, so let's get into it. So before I get ahead of myself, I just wanna show you the panel here. I was starting to sand, but I stopped. I just wanna show you the condition of those squares, guys. Pretty much have the same age. This is from a 2022 GMC Terrain. And obviously here, we're gonna do the 3000 grit. So we have a couple deeper scratch like this one. So I'm not expecting that to come off at the end, so keep that in mind. All right, so let's go ahead and do the 2000 grit sanding marks. We'll do about 2 passes in each section. So 2 passes, as you can see, we're removing clear coat. This is 2000 grit, so that's starting to be quite aggressive. So guys, I'll do my best to have an even sanding, but with the tape around, it's not gonna be that easy. So when I see that there's a couple spots that can be sanded again, I can go back over. Like just a quick pass here. So remember that deeper scratch, we'll see if that come out at the end. Okay, we're gonna use a paint prep just to make sure that the panel are ready to be polished. Okay, you can look at the sanding marks. They're not perfect, but they look pretty much the same. So I did about 2 passes, maybe a third one to just make sure that it's an even sanding mark. Looks pretty good to me, pretty fair. Okay, so let's take our blue pad by Lake Country. This is an HDO blue foam. So we'll start here with Koch Chemie, which has no scent and is pretty pricey here in North America. Okay, so I have 3 dots here. We're gonna prime it for a couple of seconds like this, and then we're gonna do 3 passes. All right, so I did 2 fairly slow passes, and the third was a little faster. So we have about 60 seconds working time. I'll double check that on the camera. But as you guys can see, I'm full charge here, or I was full charge. So this is gonna be full power for this. Speed 4, and the wipe off for Koch Chemie. Once you have fully broke down the polish, just like I did, is okay, all right? So very good gloss. So we're using a foam pad for demonstration purposes, but if I wanted to cut deeper, I would have used a wool or a microfiber pad. Wow, okay. Excited to see the next one. So we'll remove the tape afterwards, don't worry. It's just a quick look out here. Next, we're gonna do the pan ionizer product. 2 sprays to prime this. Smells so good. Let's go. Very good. So that's the pan product. No heat, guys, there's no heat. So don't tell me the paint is swelling. For the pros at home, for the guys that are deep into paint correction, if you're watching this, there's no hot panel here. So I prefer the wipe off of pan product compared to the Koch Chemie. Better scent. I double checked the bottle because it was smelling so good. I wasn't, I thought maybe I made a mistake. Wow. Hopefully you guys can see that in the camera. I don't have the same angle as you guys, but yeah. Wow. So here you can tell I did not do a good job to go in the corner, but if you look in the middle, so we'll see when we remove the tape, but wow. That pan product is insane. Okay, our third product. We're gonna use the Rupes. Two, three. Just like I did in the Koch Chemie section. This pad is starting to die. So this compound just didn't like the heat, guys, even though there's no real crazy heat. You can see the marks that it left. So far I'm not liking this. Maybe it's not the way that Rupes want you to use it. To be fair, that pad is not looking good. Okay. Now the DIY product. So you'll want to stay tuned for my final recommendation, final thoughts on each and every product, because there's more than the cutting power and the finishing ability when it comes to the best one-step compound and polish. 2 sprays. Yeah, buddy. So much more greasy as you wipe it off. So probably the hardest wipe off here, but if you pay attention to the DIY detail system, it's preferred to use a rinseless towel, wet towel, to wipe this off. So thank you everyone who have been supporting this channel. The support has been overwhelming recently. I really appreciate everyone, guys. So we're using the paint prep here just to degrease, make sure we don't have any remaining oils, unwanted fillers. Okay, so check out the Rupes. We have some weird lines. It felt like this polish didn't like the heat, or maybe I overworked the product, so it needed maybe more lubricity, so more compound on the pad, or maybe less passes, so more of a fast-acting product. I don't know. So I'm not super used to the Rupes, so you'll have to forgive me if I don't use it properly. But I have a fairly good experience with polish, and with only 3 quick passes like this, I was not expecting that. Okay, so here we have the Koch Chemie side. So we have good gloss. Let me compare with pan. So both products took care of the 2000 grit. I don't see more sanding marks. Pretty hard to tell. We see the metallic pop. All right, so let's go to the DIY. DIY is looking good. It also took care of the sanding marks as far as I can tell.
You're now looking at the reflection of the light from my ceiling, so you're not going to see this in the footage. The camera could not see it, but looking at the light from my ceiling, you could see the sanding marks in the DIY section and in the Rupes section, slightly more noticeable. So in the end, the cut was better from the Koch Chemie and from the pan product. Stay tuned, we're going to transition in the polishing, the gloss section of this video. All right, so I just want to make sure that you guys understand we're splitting air here. The products have a very good cut. They're pretty close to each other, so we're looking for the 5 to 10%. Very hard for me to show you guys in the footage. So here we're sanding a second time with the 3000 grit. I also sanded other areas, so don't worry about those. But here we're gonna switch machine. We're gonna move over the orange pad to evaluate the gloss, to try to find a difference in the finishing portion of the polishing. All right, so let's get to it. Since this paint is on the softer side, I'm using an orange pad. We're gonna polish each section for 30 seconds, and then we're gonna evaluate our result. Now, to make sure that you see the true result, I'm gonna do an IPA or a degrease step to remove any oils from the polishing step.
So here's the results after the polishing cycle, the finishing. So what we did is, again, just to make sure that you understand, that's 3000 grit and then 30 seconds of machine polishing with our product and the orange pad. So on the Rupes side, we have some haze, a tad bit of haze and some defects from the sanding remaining. That's the Koch Chemie. No haze. Very good finish, super deep black, clear metallic. I don't really see sanding marks anymore. Very, very, very good. Stick around for my final thoughts on the product, guys. That's the panty organizer side here. Again, very, very good. I did the IPA wipe as well.
So we have a tiny amount of haze in the Rupes section and in the pan section. So the best gloss, the best finish goes to DIY and Koch Chemie.
That's the DIY. Very good too. Look at the ring of the light, if you can see it in the camera. Very clear finish. That's the pan side. That's the Rupes. So again, we have some haze on the Rupes side. The Koch Chemie is perfect. The most clear and tiniest ring, if you look at the light reflection, there's pan here. And that's the DIY side. Very, very good. Pretty close with Koch Chemie. By the way, after this test, I polished the whole hood, the whole panel with the Clean by Pan Deorganizer spray polish. And I'm preparing a new video on ceramic coatings. I'm not gonna say much, but we're gonna compare ceramic coatings on the next video. So guys, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and let's get back into the video. This is the winner here, guys. I have not seen any sanding marks in this section. This has the best cut, and I've been using this product quite a while. And in second place for the cutting power, that's gonna be the Clean by Pan spray polish. Really nice cut, but left some couple sanding marks at the top of its section. And in third place, the DIY product. Good cut nonetheless, but did third place. And finally, the Rupes in last place. I probably did something wrong, but as you've seen in the footage, there's a bunch of buffer trail in that area, and it left some sanding marks, and the finish was the worst of the bunch. Okay, so we'll talk more about the finishing in just a second, but to give you my thoughts on the wipe off, the easiest wipe off was the Clean by Pan. Very, very nice wipe off, on par with, like I mentioned in other videos, with Sonac's Perfect Finish. Wipe offs like butter, but you don't want to leave this for an hour on your panel, so don't leave it for too long. It's gonna start drying. So as far as the other three products, guys, probably last place would be Gold Standard Polish. But if you use a rinseless a damped rinseless towel to wipe it off, it's gonna be a breeze. It's gonna be much easier. So I recommend that you do that, and that's what this brand recommends you to do. And those two don't have the nicest wipe off, even though if you break down the abrasive, the polish, it's still not the best wipe off that I've seen. But guys, this is a compound, so it's a give and take, right? Okay, so when it came to the finishing, in first place, that's gonna be the Koch Chemie F6 Fine Cut. Super nice finish with the 3000 grit, with the orange pad. If you look at the footage, the ring from the light, as you look at the reflection, is the tiniest, the most bright, the most clear. Very, very nice finish. My only concern with the F6, guys, before you go away, is the pricing. In North America, it became really expensive. The price has increased a couple times, but this is my favorite. This is the best in my opinion. But if you're a professional and you want to get that last 10 to 15% performance from a compound, that's the one. The Gold Standard had the second place when it came to the finishing. So the best finish in second place was the DIY Gold Standard, but it finished third in the cutting. So it's like I said, you're splitting hair here. This one maybe finished better and this one cut better. So knowing DIY Detail and Ivan, this one was built with the efficiency in mind. So you can leave this on the whole car and wipe off your polish at the end. So you don't waste time between steps wiping off. That's a different style. So this is it seems like it's very oily. It's never gonna dry. So it's a different style, like I mentioned. It depends on your preference. And the Clean by Pan is a super amazing polishing experience. A very good cut, a very good finish. So for this test, guys, those two are finishing second place. This one finished a tad bit better than this one, but this one cuts a tad bit better. I prefer the user experience of the Clean by Pan. But if I have to look at efficiency, if I have to polish a car with a certain limited time, I would probably go with this one and wipe off with a rinseless towel. And in last place in my test, in my opinion, I did not enjoy using this one. But in this test, this is finishing last. So to recap, my friends, if you want the best of the best and the price is no object, go with Koch Chemie F6. And then if you want efficiency and a super good finish, DIY Gold Standard. And if you want the best user experience, a well-balanced, good cutting, good finishing, and super nice wipe off, very pleasing to use, the best scent of all product, go with Clean by Pan Deorganizer. And guys, if you want to support more good testing like this, go in the description below, show me your support, Use the links, click on the like button, subscribe to the channel, and with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.